Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Sai Laosi. You can call me Ming. Today I would like to talk about an important topic in tourism and hospitality industry, which is sustainable development. Tourism is one of the fastest growing industries in the world. Millions of people travel every year for leisure, business, and cultural experience. Hotels, restaurants, airlines, and tourist companies benefit from this growth. However, tourism also creates many challenges for the environment, local communities, and economics. For example, tourism can cause pollution, damage natural environments, and create pressure on local cultures. If tourism is not managed carefully, it can destroy the very destinations that attract visitors. Because of this, the concept of sustainable development has become very important in tourism and hospitality. In this presentation, I will explain the meanings of sustainable development and why it is relevant to the tourism industry. I will also discuss the three pillars of sustainability, which are environmental, economic, and social sustainability. In addition, I will provide real-world examples of sustainable practice used in tourism. Finally, I will discuss the challenges of implementing sustainable tourism and its future importance. Meanings of sustainable development. First, let us understand what sustainable development means. Sustainable development is commonly defined as development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This means we should use resources responsibly today so that people in the future can also benefit from them. In tourism and hospitality, sustainable development means operation hotels, resorts, transportation, and tourist attractions in ways that protect the environment, support local communities, and maintain long-term economic benefits. Sustainable development is based on three main pillars. The first pillar is environmental sustainability, which focus on protecting natural resources and ecosystem. The second pillar is economic sustainability, which ensures tourism creates long-term economic benefits for local communities and business. The third pillar is social and cultural sustainability, which protects local cultures, traditions, and social well-being. When these three pillars work together, tourism can grow responsibly and sustainably. Why sustainable development is relevant in tourism? Now, I would like to explain why sustainable development is very important for the tourism and hospitality industry. Tourism is an industry that strongly depends on natural and cultural resources. These resources are the main attractions that bring tourists to a destination. For example, many tourists travel to enjoy beautiful beaches, mountains, forests, and wildlife. Natural landscapes create unique experience for visitors and are a major reason why people choose certain destinations. In addition to naturals, tourism also depends on local cultures and traditions. Festival, traditional food, local craft, and cultural heritage are important parts of the tourism experience. They allow visitors to learn about different cultures and create meaningful connections with local communities. However, when tourism is not managed properly, it can cause many negative impacts. For example, large numbers of tourists can lead to pollution of oceans and rivers, especially from plastic waste and sludge from hotels and cruise ships. Tourism development may also lead to deforestation when forests are cleared to build hotels, roads, and resorts. Other serious problem is climate change, which is partly caused by transportation, such as airplanes and ships, that produce large amounts of carbon emissions. Unsustainable tourism can also lead to the loss of biodiversity, meaning animals and plants may disappear when their natural habitats are destroyed. In addition, tourism can affect local cultures when traditions are changed only to entertain tourists. It can result in cultural delusions, where the original meaning of culture practice is lost. Finally, tourism can sometimes lead to the exploitation of local communities, where local people do not receive fair economic benefit from tourism activities. Because of this issue, it is very important for the tourism and hospitality industry to follow the principles of sustainable development. Sustainable tourism helps protect natural environments, respect cultural heritage, and ensure that tourism benefits local communities for many generations. Environmental sustainability in tourism. The first pillar of sustainable development in tourism is environmental sustainability. Tourism activities can have significant impacts on the environment. For example, hotels and resorts often use large amounts of water and electricity. Many tourist destinations also face problems such as plastic waste, air pollution, and damaged wildlife habitats. Some common environmental problems caused by tourism include excessive water consumption by hotels and resorts, high energy usage for air conditioning, lighting, and facilities, plastic waste from single-use products, air pollution from transportation such as airplane cars, damage to coral reef and wildlife due to irresponsible tourism activities, and over-tourism in freshwater environments such as beaches, mountains, and national parks. Because of this problem, tourism business must adopt sustainable environmental practice. Many hotels and resorts are now implementing green technologies. For example, some hotels use solar or wind energy to reduce dependence on fossil fuels. Others install energy-efficient LED lighting and smart temperature control systems to reduce electricity consumption. Water conservation is another important practice. Hotels can install low-flow showers and taps, which reduce water usage without affecting guest comfort. Some hotels also implement linen and towels reuse programs, where guests can choose to reuse towels instead of washing them every day. In addition, many resorts now use rainwater harvesting systems and wastewater treatment technologies to recycle water. Wildlife and natural conservation is also important. Many national parks limit the numbers of visitors allowed each day in order to protect natural ecosystems. Ecotourism activities such as guide natural tours and wildlife observation also help educate tourism also helps educate tourists about environmental protection. This practice helps protect the still allowing tourists to develop. Economic sustainability in tourism. The second pillar of sustainable tourism is economic sustainability. Tourism is an important source of income for many countries. It creates jobs and supports business, such as hotels, restaurants, transportation service, and local markets. However, unsustainable tourism can create economic problems. One common issue is that profit often go to foreign companies instead of local communities. For example, international hotel chains may operate in tourist destinations, but most of their profit leaves the country. Another problem is low wages for local workers. In some destinations, tourism employees work long hours but receive low salaries. Tourism can also create seasonal employment, where workers only have jobs during peak tourist seasons. Another issue is economic leakage, where money spent by tourists leaves the local economy through import goods or foreign companies. To solve this problem, tourism must adopt sustainable economic practice. One important practice is employing local communities. Hotels, restaurants, and tourism business can create more jobs opportunities for local residents. Another practice is supporting local business. For example, hotels can buy food and products from local farmers and markets. Tourism can also be encouraged to purchase locally made creative and souvenir. Community-based tourism is another good example of economic sustainability. In this model, local communities manage tourism activities themselves and directly receive the economic benefits. Sustainable tourism focus on long-term profitability rather than short-term profits, where tourism supports local communities and business. It becomes more stable and beneficial for everyone. Social and cultural sustainability. The third pillar of sustainable tourism is social and cultural sustainability. Tourism allows people from different cultures to interact and learn from each other. However, tourism can also negatively affect local cultures and communities. Some negative impacts include the loss of cultural identity, where traditional lifestyle change to meet tourist expectations. Sometimes, local traditions become commercialized only to entertain tourists. Tourism development may also cause the displacement of local residents if hotels and resorts replace local homes or communities. Another problem is cultural disrespect, where tourists may not understand or respect local traditions, costume, or religious practice. To address these problems, tourism must adopt sustainable social practice. One important practice is cultural preservation. Tourist business should respect and protect local traditions, language, and cultural activities. Another important action is the protection of heritage, such as historical buildings, temples, and cultural landmarks. Governments and tourism organizations often create regulations to protect these states from damage. Community-based tourism is also important for social sustainability, where local communities participate in tourism activities. They can share their culture with visitors while maintaining control over how tourism develops in their area. By respecting cultures and supporting local communities, tourism can create meaningful experience for both visitors and residents. Roles of government and organization. Governments and international organizations play a crucial role in promoting sustainable tourism. First, government create environmental laws and regulations that limit pollution, protect natural area, and control tourism development. Second, many organizations promote eco-certification programs. These programs recognize hotels, resorts, and tourism business that follows environmentally friendly practice. Governments also invest in sustainable infrastructure, such as public transportation, waste management system, and renewable energy projects. Education is another important responsibility. Governments and tourism organizations can educate both tourists and business about sustainable practice and responsible travel. International organizations also promote sustainable tourism through research, policies, and global cooperation. Challenges in implementing sustainable tourism. Although sustainable tourism offers many benefits, it also faces several challenges. One major challenge is the high initial investment cost. Installing renewable energy systems, water recycle technology, and eco-friendly infrastructure can be expensive for tourism business. Another challenge is the lack of awareness. Some tourists and business owners may not fully understand the importance of sustainability. There can also be resistance from business that focus only on short-term profit rather than long-term sustainability. Over-tourism is another serious issue. Popular destinations may receive more visitors than the environment can support. Finally, some countries face problems with weak enforcement of environmental laws, which makes it difficult to control unsustainable tourism activities. Addressing these challenges require cooperation between governments, business, communities, and tourists. Future importance of sustainable tourism. Looking toward the future, sustainable tourism will become even more important. Many travelers today are becoming more environmentally conscious. They prefer eco-friendly hotels, responsible travel experience, and destinations that protect nature and culture. Ecotourism is growing rapidly around the world. This type of tourism focuses on nature conservation, environmental education, and communities involvement. Some hotels are also making towards carbon neutral operations, where they reduce or offset their carbon emissions. Digital technology will also play a role in sustainability. Smart systems can reduce energy waste, improve transportation efficiency, and manage visitor numbers at tourist sites. As a traveler become more aware of sustainability issues, they will increasingly choose green destinations and responsible tourism business. Conclusion To conclude, sustainable development is not only applicable but also essential for the tourism and hospitality industry. Tourism depends on the healthy environment, stable economics, and respectful social and cultural system. If tourism development is not sustainable, it may destroy the natural and cultural resources that attract visitors in the first place. However, by adopting sustainable practice, tourism can achieve long-term growth while protecting the environment, preserving culture, and supporting local communities. Therefore, sustainable development is the foundation for a responsible, ethical, and successful future for tourism and hospitality. Thank you for listening to my presentation.